Hi there. Welcome to the Kel-n-Rich Show. My name is Kel, and this is my great husband, Rich.
So nice of you guys to be here. Thank you for joining us.
This morning, we're starting off with some questions from the Ask Kel-n-Rich section on our website. And so this comes from Rick Coates.
It's actually Rick Coate.
Oh, sorry, Rick Coate.
Or Cody. We're
We're
not
not
sure.
sure.
Coate.
I'll let you read because I'm kind of a bit further away and I don't
You
have
got it.
glasses.
Absolutely, Kel. So Rick, age 55, Pleasant Hill, Ohio. Great question. We're going to actually devote
Hi,
this.
Rick.
We're going to devote this entire video to you and your question. Question is, how do you ever get over a loss of a loved one? My wife died 4 years ago, and I'm still struggling with it.
So sorry to hear that your wife's passed away.
Yeah. You'll never get over it. You'll get familiar with it. You'll get fairly okay with it. But the fact is that you'll never get over it. Kind of like you get over a breakup in your past and you move on, and you just don't think about it, and it's not present, and maybe down the road you would have a glimpse of it. But losing someone special that really matters to you, it's not a reality that you'll just get over it. You can grow from it, and I'll just give you my experience from losing my firstborn child, my only son, and like my best friend also. And I know you can say what you will about parents and friends being the same, but we were kindred spirits. We shared a life together. I can spend a day literally with this microphone with you guys talking about how wonderful he was, how our relationship was, etc. I'm never going to get over his loss. I'm never going to get over my father passing away and that experience. So that's the first thing that I would say. Let yourself off the hook that it's okay that you're just not getting over it, okay? It means that you loved so deeply. That's what it means. It means you're not a type of person that can just move on and you're so, arrogant and narcissistic that you can just dismiss a relationship like you had with your wife. So it's okay. You're off the hook. Definitely don't just get busy doing stuff, because if you've just been very busy doing stuff, it's basically a distraction. So at the beginning, I was getting very busy. I was cleaning the house and I was doing stuff when Jared passed. And even when my dad passed away, it was all about the funeral and the arrangements, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, one day, boom, it just hits you. And you just drop to your knees with the sadness and the pain. The heart breaks, actually. There's many studies of one spouse passing away, and then very shortly after that day or the next day passing away from literally a broken heart. That's actually a clinical term. So you're off the hook. This is a deep loss, but you don't just get busy. Surround yourself with people that bring you up versus people that won't know what to say around you, or they're going to feel uncomfortable. You want people that are going to say, so she died, and that's awful. And how's it going? You want them to be honest and real with you. If people are going to walk around on eggshells around you, those are not the people you want to hang around with, because that will bring you back to the past, bring you back to the sorrow, and constantly remind you that she's gone. So I'm going to stop there for a moment. Kel, what about you? Because I have other suggestions, but those are ones that come to top of mind.
Grieving, and the process has about 10 stages. And you can dispute with me of what I've been through and the bereavement counseling I've gone through. There's many different stages for different people at different levels and different times, and there is no time frame and there's no schedule. And they say there's 7 stages of death. The counseling that I have been to, I've identified way more than that, and that it's different for different people. So, Rick, whatever place and stage you're in and you're at, it's okay that you're there. You're there for as long as you need to be. And there's no time limit, or it's not like, you got to get over it now. as Rich says, it's never going to be something that you get over. It becomes something that you adjust to. It's a new reality, and it's a new day, and it's a new way. And the absence of her is always going to be something that you feel deeply. And it's, as Rich says, it's okay. When your heart is ready to move on, it'll adjust. We've all faced losing people who have passed away for one reason or another. And some of the people that have passed away in my life, it's been years and I'm still not over it. And maybe it will never leave me. And that's part of how we have to adjust and eventually move forward. It's important that you become familiar with the empty house and your empty bed, because you will eventually adjust to the circumstances of her absence in your life. There's no time frame, and there's no expectation. And if the people around you are not asking, it's generally because they don't know what to say or how to handle the situation. They feel they are of no use to you. They can't comfort you. Although Jared was not my natural son, he was my stepson, it didn't matter. He was still my son. And we had many special moments together, and he was a beautiful, beautiful presence in our lives, and I walk by his plaque every day, and I read it. So I don't know if you ever have to get over it, especially, as Rich says, if the person was special and meaningful to you. You know, we have a little plaque next to our front door, and it says, there are those people that make your day, and then there are those people that make your life. And she's clearly one of them, one of those people for you. And you want to cherish that. One other suggestion that's been made in the past is to have a celebration for her every year and bring her friends and family together, like her birthday, and celebrate it with a party. And that in actually what happens, and studies have proven that instead of being a day full of sorrow and mourning, it becomes a celebration of reminiscing, and the pictures get pulled out in the photo albums, and people start saying, yeah, I remember when, and she did this, and oh, remember when she wore that dress? It looked so great on her. And it becomes a celebration, an ongoing celebration of someone that you cherish. So that may help you. And as we've suggested in another video, I don't know how you feel about this, but there's groups out there for bereavement, and there's bereavement counseling, and some of those people are so amazing at what they do.
Absolutely.
And it might be something for you to consider, because again, there's no time frame.
I heard everything that you were saying, and I did not want to stop the video, but when Jared passed, there was something that I found that was really, really helpful, and I wanted to recall that. So apologies if it looked like I was not paying attention. I was listening. I was doing my best to do both.
You're good at that. I'm really not.
It's a skill that I have. It's not something that I would tell other people to do, but I can. I was a dad, I was a teacher, room full of 40, 50, 100 people. Got to kind of be present with that. So apologies for looking like I was distracted there. This is entitled Loneliness, the 5 Don'ts if you're lonely after a loss. Okay, Kel talks about the stages of grief, the stages of someone passing and death. But basically, this came from years of research, decades of research about what not to do. And I'm just going to list what those things are, okay? This one, I'm glad I was able to find it.
Yeah.
Don't confuse companionship with completeness. Those who have lost a spouse may have been fortunate enough to experience the feeling of having a better half. While a wonderful feeling in marriage, it creates a terrible void. So don't confuse a person that you attract with filling the loss. It's a completely different person, Okay, so that's one thing you want to avoid.
And you are a different person now than you were.
Yeah, and
you have changed.
Go out there and date when you're ready. Go out there and meet people when you're ready. And it might be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, but this can accelerate the process as long as you realize that you're not looking for a replacement. Okay, that's really, really important. You'll never replace who she was, ever. I would never be able to replace Kel. Don't overdo being busy. I actually already said that. Make sure that you include time for rest, time for reflection, and time to actually learn what it feels to be home alone. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't really come clean with that, I had to be comfortable with listening to music again. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I don't play Bullet for My Valentine or a lot of the other stuff that Jared and I would literally listen to in the car and drive through the roads. I had a new Volkswagen GTI from 2010. We'd rip around the roads and he would just be hanging his hands out the sunroof and stuff. And oh my God, I can't listen to those songs yet. So make sure that you get used to being in the house. I had to get used to listening to my car stereo again. It was just weird shit would happen to me. 3, acknowledge what's been lost, but don't live in a place of what ifs or if onlys. Easier said than done. I know this speaks to the loneliness I mentioned before, the yearning for the future that never happened. The attention we give to the empty spot where loved ones should be sitting. It's natural and normal for us to grieve to take us to these places, but as the year passes, we can begin to rebuild if we choose to not live in the what-ifs. We'll continue to feel lonely and separated from the rest of the world if we're always checking off the list of what they have and what we don't. This is tough. I know it happens unconsciously, and it's not a case of asking a griever to deny the loss or feeling. Instead, it's the balance of feeling the pain arise, acknowledging it, but not allowing it to alienate us from the other people around us. Okay, that was a really good one. Don't spend time with those who will bring you down, all right? In loneliness, there can be a sense of urgency. What I'm going to do is I'm going to supply the link to this instead of reading it all, because it is really chunky in terms of me reading to you guys and me reading to you, Rick. But I'll send you the link, okay? It's griefincommon.com, and the title is, I'll do the one more, don't. Loneliness, 5 don'ts if you're lonely after loss. So number 5 is, don't be afraid to try something new. I think as we get older, it becomes harder to do things outside of our comfort zone, and since grief seems to add at least a few decades to how most grievers feel, it could be especially difficult to have the energy to put ourselves there after a loss. My mom is still going through that. We're talking 14 years. But eventually, if you find that grief becomes like cement shoes, it may be time to try something to break free. Start small, think of something you'll have a positive impact on, not only for you, but your community. That's a big one. Not distraction, but purpose, service. There's a difference between leading and being in service. Okay? There's a difference between busy, acting, agenda, and in service. Whole different context. Okay? So we'll send that to you. Okay? It'll be in the description down below.
And if you want to get a hold of us outside of this, Ask Kel-n-Rich, you can always send us an email, Rick. KELNRICHG@gmail.com.
Yeah. Or friend us on Facebook. That'll be Richard Gafter, RICHARDGAFTER. And if you're going under a pseudonym at this point, you're going to have to give a little context for Messenger. Send me a messenger that says who you are and just remind us, okay?
Hopefully this helps.
Yeah. It's a great article for everybody to read. I got a lot out of it. It really accelerated my process. And trying something new was turning on the camera and doing this first reaction video. I got it from that article.
Yeah.
So thank you to the authors. Yes. And you know what? I need to give a shout out to the author.
Great idea.
Yeah, we really try to keep things on the level here. Most of what we do is our own creation, our own content, our own ideas and things, and that's cool. But the stuff that's not, oh, isn't that funny? It doesn't even have...
I don't think it says.
No, it doesn't say who it is. Let me see. Oh, yes, it does. Sending you all light, hope, and healing. Karen, www.griefincommon.com. So That's
it's
it.
It's a great article. We
right.
both read it.
All right. You can do it, Rick.
Yeah.
It hurts. Hopefully a couple things will accelerate your moving forward. And remember, you can't replace, you can renew. Okay? That was one of the big things for me. There's renewal that happens. You shared a life with her, and you're going to take that life forward for your new experiences, because that's what she would want you to do. Just like if you passed, unfortunately, you would want whoever's significant in your life to move on with strength and power and courage and fearlessness. But
And
not as a robot, not as a...
suffer at the hand of the darkness and the loneliness. So
Yeah.
there's light out there waiting for you. But the thing is, you've taken the first step by even coming to the channel and to the website and doing something new by asking the question. So you're already, one foot is already on the path.
Fantastic, Kel.
Thanks
right.
thanks for reaching out.
Here's a kiss for you, my friend, and for your strength, and consider it rocket fuel to do what is just waiting out there for you. There's so much.
Yeah.
When you reach out to the people with your problem or with your pain, they'll show up. They'll move you. They'll carry you. That's what I learned. Getting carried by a lot of people these days.
Yeah, one day we'll do a video on the experience that Rich had
Going back
to Victoria,
to bury Jared. And also with my father.
Yeah.
The days, the months, the years that followed, it was absolutely astounding.
Yeah.
How I grew as a person, and the pain is still there. I can still feel it, and that's okay. It's because we're human. If we didn't feel it, we wouldn't be a human being.
And it would also signify that that person didn't matter.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for asking.
Later, everyone.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Look in the description for other information. Bye-bye.